Hey everybody, Devin Rex for Art here. Today I'm going to be doing a happy Halloween collage of this little statue thing that I found at the, I want to say Dollarama, but it might have been the Dollar Tree. I can't recall. I just turned it on briefly to show you that it lights up and it has sound. Unfortunately, the sound is continuous. So I'm going to do some collage onto here, and I'm going to make sort of a spooky but quirky collage on top. And I was trying to decide, what prints to use. And I was looking through my papers and I found these reaching hand pages I had done using my stencil. So this is the reaching hand stencils I had used to create a bunch of prints. I'm going to do a excerpt from the live stream that I did all of these prints from. So that was the final pull, and then there's a bunch of interim prints. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my gel prints. So often you make gel prints and people go, what do you use them for? Well, this is one thing you can use them for, is making just sort of whimsical decor. You can decorate journals, boxes, and things from the dollar store. So I'm going to be using matte medium. I think what I'm going to do, I want to transition from like this blue to purple to green to, I'm going to kind of like have the hands kind of coming up, transitioning. So I'm going to be cutting these apart, I believe. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to play on that side of the screen. I'm going to play sort of an excerpt where I sort of compiled all the different pulls that were, all the different paints and techniques that were used when I made this print here. So I've kind of got that together, and I'm just going to have it playing over here. I'm not going to comment on it. If you want to know more details about that video, I will link that video below and at the end screen. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to start cutting these up, and then we're going to start gluing them on. So ideally you would rip them. I don't know. I could rip them, but they get kind of close together. So I think I'm going to kind of cut them into individual hands, and then we'll start gluing them on. So I'm going to just turn the camera off while I do all this cutting, and then we'll get gluing, and I'll show that process. So I've got all my hands cut out, and I kind of ordered them. I'm going to just be pouring some matte medium into just a little container, and this is, I'm just going to use the Liquitex matte medium here and a brush. And when I'm not using my brush, I'm going to wrap it in a wet baby wipe and then put it in water if I'm not using it for a while. So I'm going to move these to my side here, and we're going to bring out the skulls, and I have wax paper down. I think I want to do blue up to yellow up there. I'm not sure. The back is going to be easier to do than the front. So I think I'm going to start with the front, and we'll see how it goes. So I'm doing the plastic first, and then the back of my hand, and then I'm going to just use the brush to smooth it out. And the reason I chose these colors is I think it'll look cool with the lights on. I think it'll shine, hopefully the light will shine through. And I'm just going to use a silicone tool to try to like really adhere it to those bumps. Usually like I'll use like a card to scrape down collage, but this is a 3D object, which if you follow my channel, you know I don't do a lot of 3D things. So this is a challenge for me, but Just going to continue, and we'll see how it goes. I'm not sure if I mentioned that I'm not positive whether this is Carnival Wet Strength paper or tracing paper or medical exam paper. I can't recall what this was done on. So I'm trying to get it into all those little grooves. There's a wrinkle, that's okay. Just kind of smushing it in there. And then just a bit more of a brush with my brush. So I used some acrylic blocks behind there to help the statue stay in this position, because I only have 2 hands, right? And I'll probably have to dry it as I go, because if it's wet and I grab it, it might tear. So we'll do as much as we can, and then probably dry it and then continue. You could use, I'm using matte medium, but you could use Mod Podge if that's something you like using. You could use probably, it's best if it's something that dries clear. So, so that you can see the true color of what you're putting on. Oops. My finger was touching here and it pulled it off because it's not dry yet. So you got to be careful where you touch it. Okay, so I'm going to take a break and do a little bit of drying with my heat gun. The plastic is getting a little hot with the heat gun, so I'm switching to my fan. That is just air and not heat. I think that's good enough. I think we can turn it this way and we'll work on the back for a minute. So after adding the stickles to the black parts of the skulls, I decided to add a little bit to the bones off camera because it just felt a little bit plain, and I let that dry overnight. One of the things about using the matte medium and covering both surfaces is you can see that where there's no paint, you see the color underneath. So collaging on these thin tissues works best over a lighter surface so that you can see the colors. It doesn't get too muted. It really depends what look you're going for. So I'm going to wait till this evening, and then I'm going to do filming outside, showing you this statue lit up and to see how it looks. And I'm pretty happy with it. It's very whimsical. By now you're seeing all the extra prints I got from that long haul. I think there was 13 in total. And again, if you want to see more details about how those were done, check out the live stream for those in the description below and on the end screen. I forgot to mention at the beginning that I'm away currently, so I'm pre-filming this, and I will be back next week, November 5th, for my regular live stream. I had a lot of fun making this. I hope you will enjoy the footage of it at night, and I'm thinking I might get my husband to take out this apparatus and just figure out a way to put a light inside because the noise is very annoying because it's constant. If it was every few minutes or motion activated, that would be better. I had a lot of fun making this, and I hope you have a great Halloween, and we'll see you next week. Stay tuned for the footage of our finished statue in the dark. Yeah.